The Zathori delegation had made many mistakes in their long history of galactic conquest, but none quite as catastrophic as the one they made on the human frontier colony of New Haven. Commander Zixal surveyed the settlement through compound eyes that had witnessed the fall of 17 civilizations. The primitive structures, the laughable defensive perimeter, the scattered livestock, all of it screamed easy victory. The humans here were miners and farmers, not warriors. Children played in dusty streets while adults toiled in fields, perfect targets for harvesting. What the Zathori hadn't accounted for was Mira Hale. The 9-year-old sat cross-legged outside her family's habitat module, her small hands working through Scruff's coarse fur, checking for burrs and tangles. The honey badger, enhanced with human genetic engineering to be larger, smarter, and even more tenacious than his natural ancestors, rumbled contentedly under her touch. His black and silver coat rippled over muscles dense as coiled cables. "Good boy," Mira whispered, pressing her forehead against his broad skull. "You're my best friend, you know that?" Scruff's dark eyes, unusually intelligent for his species, fixed on her with absolute devotion. In the 2 years since the genetic lab had gifted him to her family, the bond between child and beast had grown unbreakable. Where Mira went, Scruff followed. What threatened Mira faced 30 pounds of enhanced fury that knew no concept of retreat. The Zathori attack came at dawn. Their ships descended like chrome locusts, blotting out New Haven's pale sun. Energy weapons carved glowing scars across the settlement's outer buildings. Colonists scrambled for shelters as insectoid warriors poured from landing craft, their chittering communication filling the air like static. Mira's mother grabbed her daughter's arm, pulling her toward the reinforced bunker beneath their home. "Move, baby, now!" But Scruff wasn't with them. The honey badger had bolted toward the square where younger children were trapped, separated from their parents by advancing Zathori soldiers. His enhanced instinct screamed protector, defender, guardian of the pack's young. "Scruff!" Mira tore free from her mother's grip and ran. "Mira, no!" The galaxy's predatory species had evolved sophisticated hierarchies of threat assessment. Apex predators recognized other apex predators. Warriors respected worthy opponents. The Zathori had cataloged thousands of dangerous species across hundreds of worlds. They had no file on Mellivora capensis. Scruff hit the first Zathori soldier, like a missile wrapped in fur and rage. His enhanced jaws, strong enough to crack titanium alloy, sheared through the alien's exoskeleton armor as if it were paper. The soldier's scream cut short as Scruff's claws, reinforced with carbon fiber supplements during his genetic enhancement, raked through sensory organs and vital arteries. 3 more. Zathori turned their weapons on the small beast. Energy bolts that could vaporize stone scorched the ground around Scruff. One caught him in the shoulder, burning through fur and flesh. The honey badger didn't even slow, enhanced metabolism flooding his system with combat stimulants. Scruff launched himself at the nearest shooter's face. Honey badgers in nature were known for 2 things: attacking creatures 50 times their size, and never, ever giving up. Scruff had been engineered to be smarter and stronger, but those core traits remained encoded in every cell. He was also genetically programmed with one absolute priority: protect Mira Hale. The 9-year-old burst into the square as Scruff brought down his 4th Zathori. Her small voice cut through the chaos of battle. "Scruff! Here, boy!" The honey badger's head snapped toward her. Blood matted his fur, some his, most not. Behind him, 7 young children huddled against a wall, alive only because 30 pounds of engineered defiance had decided they were under his protection. Commander Zixal watched from his command ship, mandibles clicking in confusion. His tactical display showed 15 warriors down, not killed by the colony's defenders but by a single small mammal. The creature's heat signature burned like a miniature sun, its enhanced metabolism running at impossible levels, and now it was moving back toward a human child. "Kill the beast," he ordered. "Make an example." 20 Zathori warriors converged on Scruff's position. Energy weapons charged, blades unsheathed. They would overwhelm it with numbers, crush it with superior firepower. They had forgotten about Mira. The little girl stood between the alien soldiers and her wounded honey badger. 9 years old, barely 4 feet tall, wearing dusty overalls and scraped knees. She spread her arms wide. "You can't have him," she said. Her voice didn't waver. "He's mine." From his command ship, Zixal felt something he hadn't experienced in 3 centuries of conquest: uncertainty. The human child showed no fear. Behind her, the battered creature had risen to all fours, blood dripping from multiple wounds yet still ready to fight. The bond between them radiated through the tactical display like a physical force. The Zathori had conquered worlds where parents abandoned offspring at the first sign of danger, where survival instincts overrode all loyalty. They had never encountered a species where a child would die for an animal, or an animal would fight an army for a child. Scruff limped forward to stand beside Mira. Despite his wounds, he positioned himself slightly ahead, ready to be the first to die defending her. His low growl promised that his death would be expensive. Mira's hand found Scruff's head, her fingers buried in blood-matted fur. "Together," she whispered. The Zathori warriors raised their weapons and paused. Behind the child and her beast, something was changing. Adult humans were emerging from cover, no longer running to shelters. They formed a line, then two lines, then a wall of bodies between the aliens and the two small defenders who refused to yield. Miners held industrial tools as weapons. Farmers gripped whatever came to hand. Scientists, teachers, engineers, none of them warriors, but all of them human. All of them understanding in that moment what their species had always known. You protect the children. You protect the bonds that matter. You never surrender what you love. Commander Zixal watched his tactical display shift from green to amber to red. The situation had changed. These weren't scattered targets anymore. They were a tribe defending its young, and something in their unified stance triggered ancient warnings in his predator's brain. He had seen this pattern before, on worlds that had cost the Zathori dearly, species that formed unbreakable bonds, that fought beyond logic or survival instinct, that would sacrifice everything for abstract concepts like loyalty or love. These species could not be enslaved, could not be broken. They could only be destroyed completely at catastrophic cost or left alone. "Withdraw," Zixal commanded. His officers chittered in protest, but the commander's will was absolute. The Zathori had won thousands of conquests by knowing which battles to fight and which to abandon. New Haven had just taught them a law the galaxy had tried to forget: never stand between a human and what they love, because humans don't calculate odds. They don't assess threats rationally. They simply refuse to let go, and sometimes refusal is the most powerful weapon in the universe. As the alien ships lifted into New Haven's sky, Mira collapsed to her knees and wrapped her arms around Scruff. The honey badger's rumbling purr vibrated through her chest as colony medics rushed forward to treat his wounds. "Good boy," Mira whispered, tears streaming down her dirty face. "Best boy. My best boy." Scruff licked her cheek with a tongue that had recently tasted alien blood, then rested his massive head on her shoulder. His eyes closed, finally allowing himself to feel the pain of his wounds, secure in the knowledge that his purpose, his only purpose, was fulfilled. Mira was safe. The galaxy would remember this day, would log it in their databases, add it to their threat assessments. Another footnote in humanity's strange reputation: the species that enhanced predators and gave them to children, that built bonds stronger than logic, that turned love into a weapon. But on New Haven, under an alien sun, none of that mattered. Only two truths remained. A girl loved her honey badger, and nothing in the galaxy would take him from her. Nothing.